Welcome to episode 69 of the Rank Up Podcast. We didn't plan that. I just knew that if I said 69
and waited,
eventually it might have been awkward. We might have been 4 minutes into this and Don just goes, oh, wait.
Nice.
But I would have waited. Episode 69 of the Rank Up Podcast. Most podcasts, TV shows, anybody, they celebrate episode 100, maybe 200, 300.
1,000.
We here
What?
celebrate
400. What? 500. What?
We celebrate episode 69
Nice.
naturally. So on episode 69, we think, or at least I think, and I told Don this, and this is what we're doing,
It's true.
is we are at our best when we are filled with hate. When we got hate in our heart,
We gotta let it out.
we are at our best. Don's legendary Pizza King rant will live on in infamy. Probably will never be used in any of their advertising.
Candy bar rant.
Well, Kiwan's so illogical thought process was just so fantastic of you. So we thought we would get our blood pressures up and tell you about the drivers who make us angry.
10 o'clock on a Wednesday. Get those blood pressures up. Everybody knows that it's easy to go to sleep when you're angry. That's why they tell you, always go to sleep angry.
That's why the doctor tell you. I'll look you right in the eye and say, you're not going to sleep angry. That's why you're sleeping so poorly. So, we're going to tell you who pisses us off. The bleep button.
Bleep button's going to get a workout.
Probably. So,
Well, not who pisses us off. Specifically, what pisses us off while we're driving.
while we're driving.
Yeah.
And I
Other drivers, right?
generally.
Because I didn't think of like
some lady walking across the street slowly. No, other drivers. Who
Well,
piss
I
us
wasn't
off.
thinking like construction.
Oh,
'Cause
that makes sense. Right.
That'll get you.
Right, like,
30 miles of the 100 miles to Mansfield is construction right now.
or you're on a detour from your detour.
Oh.
Like, hey, Ohio, could we get it together here potentially? Like, oh, my detour had a detour? That's not right. So that would piss us off. But we're talking other drivers. I want to get a dash cam.
I saw a video compilation, like 8 minutes of this dude commentating over like people throwing themselves in front of other people's cars.
See,
with the dash cam.
I want a dash cam that doesn't record audio. Because
Well,
there would just be a lot of me
maybe
saying,
records it on a different track.
it would just be me yelling at people making right-hand turns, but they slow down to 15 miles an hour to do it, going, turn that a lot. So I don't want one. And then just me singing the Hamilton soundtrack very loudly. Nobody wants that.
So I don't think most dash cams are just constantly recording. I think you hit a button and it records like the last 5 minutes, so maybe you wouldn't have to worry about that.
We'll see.
We hold these truths to be self-evident
That all men are created equal. It must be nice.
You know who said that, right?
Hamilton. Hamilton. No, probably someone famous. It's all historically accurate. Nonetheless, we got a list of people, other driving pet peeves.
5% of our audience out there that's on TikTok. It's like, I get that reference.
I understand that. That is funny. All right, so we got like driving pet peeves. Is that what we're going to call the episode?
Yeah,
all right. Okay. All right. I'll let you go first.
Drivers who piss us off.
Yeah.
So my number 5 is Garrett. It's not,
I understand.
but he could probably fit into each one of these.
I doubt it. Perfect is a strong word.
Tell me when it doesn't apply to you in a way.
Okay.
Number 5, people who aren't focused on driving. You're behind the wheel of a possibly 4,000-pound death machine.
Seems hyperbolic, but yes.
Driving 62 miles an hour down a 2-lane road.
Now, why did you specifically pick the number that I always set my cruise control at?
Because
on
I think that's the number.
non-interstates?
I think that's the number everybody sets it to.
It seems safe. It feels like I'm not going to be shot by a police officer if I'm driving 62.
Well, so I think that it's because, there's always the 9 you're fine, but 10 you're mine number. But then 5 doesn't feel right because you're going 60.
You're not
62, a lot faster than 60.
right. If 5 feels like you're not getting your money's worth, and 9 is the edge.
If I'm gonna get pulled over, I'm gonna get pulled over for 7 over, not 5 over.
Yes, but
I can't imagine the ticket's that much bigger.
no, it's not.
But people who aren't focused on driving, you're driving this 3,000-pound death machine down the road at 62 miles an hour, and what are you doing? Reading your text messages.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guilty of it. I do that. But I don't have my phone up in front of my face.
Right. I never do that.
Watching your TikToks.
No, never TikTok.
Doing your makeup in the mirror.
Sometimes Twitter.
Reading your iPads because newspapers are dead now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's me.
Jawing on the phone. I don't really talk while driving, but that one I feel like I've been grandfathered into that as well. Like kind of like the texting and driving when that kind of became illegal. I was like, I feel like I've been doing it for 10 years.
They don't mean me.
They don't mean me.
Practice makes perfect. Let's be honest. So I would be doing America a disservice if I stopped texting and driving.
Or people who they're in a car full of people and when you pass them on the interstate, they're turned looking at the person in the passenger seat
while you're trying to mean mug them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I've got people whom are not focused.
Number 5
on driving, and number 5.
My number 5, I have rolling stop.
Okay.
Listen, if I've got to sit here for a second, you've got to sit here for a second. Okay? And generally, it leads into my number 4, but
especially at a 4-way stop.
Yeah.
Like I will sometimes rolling stop. I feel like the statute of limitations is pretty short.
I don't have a problem with a rolling stop if you can see a mile in each direction.
Right.
At the
if you're on
four-way.
a back road and it's a 2-way stop, you get down to 5 miles an hour.
If I can see it, deep cut for only people, Freisinger Road and Old Town Run or Freisinger Road, out
gotcha.
Out by Carl Purple's house.
Yep.
You can see for a mile and a half
out by the golf course.
Yeah. In each direction. I don't even get down to 60. That
road ends in a T.
No.
No, it does.
No. I forget what road it is. It's Freisinger Road and something else.
Okay.
But you can see for a mile of direction in each. Anywhere you look, you see a mile.
Wabash in Oregon.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, there's a church on the corner.
Rockford West
depending
and
on the way
Arrest is Durban.
Yeah.
You can see forever.
Now,
in each
even
direction.
then,
that's not a 4-way.
Almost stop at those stop signs. Sometimes I will. I would say 90% of the time I come to a complete stop if I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
But
sometimes you got a place
I've
to
got
be.
poop.
Right.
I'm rolling.
And if there's not corn up,
that sudden jerk of a complete stop and then that get going again,
we might have a mess.
I might go from an 8 to a 9, and there's no coming back from a 9 once you're there.
Right.
Once you get to a 9, there's a countdown started that cannot be stopped.
The problem is your body doesn't know how long the countdown lasts.
Right.
You got a finite amount of time, and when it's go time, it doesn't matter where you are, who you are.
No, it doesn't.
We've all been bit by that snake. So that's number 5 for me.
The cops will never believe you.
Oh, you got to pull out a handful. Be like, sir, madam, look, we have problems.
I'm at a 10 right now, sir.
I'm at an 11, if you know what I mean. I'm throwing these underwear away, sir.
I am chafed.
Oh, God. So that's my
I've
number
been
5.
sitting in my own filth for 4 miles, and this is not helping.
How long are you sitting in there?
Oh.
So that's number 5.
All right, so my number 4 is people with cars. Cars that, and not necessarily all these rusted cars, though that does bother me too, but it's the bumpers hanging off,
okay,
the
this
doors,
isn't me. This
the doors,
is no longer
this
me.
is no longer you.
I drive a Lincoln.
The doors are dented in, the headlights duct taped over.
Yeah.
Your passenger side mirror has tinfoil over it, so people think it's a mirror, but it's not.
It's just aluminum foil.
Because if they care that little about their car, they don't give a about yours.
Correct.
And those are the people that if I'm on a 4-lane,
Yep.
and I've got my cruise set at 72.
Oh no.
And a 65 on 72. I'm keeping up with traffic.
In a 70, what are you at?
77.
I'm 79.
Well, it depends. If there's no traffic, in a 70, I go 77. If the traffic's going 79, I'll go 79. But then if for whatever reason they pull off, and I will continue to go 79.
I'll go 78 usually, actually. Like I get a 4-lane for a very short amount of time on my drive home.
Also,
78.
my truck guzzles gas when you get that high. That V8 2005 Dodge Hemi isn't
Okay, so theoretically, here,
great on gas over about 65.
you're on vacation. This,
Okay.
this is theoretical, hypothetical,
Yeah.
except it happened to me, and I want your answer. You were in a western state where the interstate speed limit is 80 miles an hour.
Yeah, 90, 95.
I was going to say, and you haven't seen a cop the entire 2-hour drive that you've been on the interstate. What is your cruise
Is
control?
it
set
hilly
at?
or flat?
Flat?
90 or 95.
I'll say because my cruise control set at 94, and Ashley's like, "I don't you think you're going a little fast?" I'm like, "Not really. I might be going too slow." Now, okay, so we were in Utah for our vacation.
Yeah.
The people there were like, "Okay, the speed limit's 80. Well, 75 is fast enough."
Gross.
No, get out of the way. 75 is not fast enough because they let me go to 80, which means they'll start enforcing it at 95. So we'll go 94.
If it's the end of the month, they'll start enforcing it at 90.
I did, somebody I bumped into had said something along the lines of basically like, yeah, on the back roads where the speed limit's 65,
Yeah.
they'll get you for 65 because they're like, hey, we let you go
Really?
60. We let you go 65, and you're abusing the system now. Like,
Okay, so
okay.
when I was in Montana, the roads were 65 during the day, 55 at night.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how it was where you were or not.
No, I like South Dakota. There are spots where it's like 65, 55 at night.
And on those roads, it's very hilly. But you get to the crest of the hill, you can see 10 miles in every direction. So you know that there is not a car from you 10 miles behind you, 10 miles in front of you. It was a race to get to that next hill. It was 95, 100 mile an hour as fast as I could get there. And then you see a car coming on a red dirt road. Well, you just see a car somewhere on an intersection. It's like, and down to 75.
Yeah, just in case.
It was never a cop. Not once was it a cop.
But you're not gonna be like, I got a speed limit in the middle of Montana.
A 95 and a 65 in the company van. So that's fun.
People with less than stellar cars.
Only because
You're right. They're gonna ding you up and be like, "Well, sucks you suck."
well, especially
Right,
if you're in
thanks.
Michigan where they have zero fault driving. So in Michigan, if you get in a wreck with somebody, you pay for your damages, they pay for their own damages.
Gross.
My brother-in-law was telling me a story about how when he was up in Michigan, he saw a car like try and merge, hit another car, spin out onto the median, get back in, get T-boned by another car. And everybody just
You got to pay for
driving
you.
afterwards. Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah, that's terrible. Michigan.
So that is my number 4.
My number 4 somewhat goes hand in glove with my number 5 because it happens a lot.
Hand in glove.
Hand in glove.
Okay.
And that is when you pull out in front of me and then go like 40 miles an hour. Because that's part of the rolling stop. Like you're like, oh, I got to beat this guy to the intersection. And then you're going 40 miles an hour. So you just watch me light my brakes on fire between the stop ahead sign and the stop sign so I can get stopped. Chances are I'm going faster than you.
In that, I'm going to say people who pull out of in front of you to turn immediately after.
Oh, my God. That drives me insane. That would be a scream.
That
would
was
be a
a
scream in a dash can.
That was less than a quarter mile later.
Right. Yeah. And if you look behind me, there's not another car for 2 miles, you piece of shit. If you just waited.
That's your house. I know where you live now, you son of a.
I'm going to slash your tires because I hate your guts.
Am I going to do anything with that information?
No.
You'll never know.
Right. But I want you to think that I will.
When you get that glitter bomb in the mail,
Bag of dicks.
you'll know.
Just like the slightest amount of common sense. If you just take 5 seconds to think, oh, there's nothing behind that car. And since I'm in a Buick, because every car who's ever I've shouted, like, move your ass is in a Buick, maybe just
They have
don't.
blue hair.
Maybe just don't. Maybe just wait the 15 seconds. Let me get fully past you, and then like 8 telephone poles past, and then pull out in front of me, and then pull out and go 40 miles an hour. That's all you got to do. Just it's a common courtesy.
I will say, as an aside to that, I know when I pull out of my driveway, I'm in a 35 mile an hour zone. Mm-hmm. I know how far away you can be if you're going 35 miles an hour to not be up my ass when I get to the stop sign.
Yes.
300 feet from my house.
But.
So I will pull out in front of anybody.
Because you're going 55. They're going 55. Right. They should be going 35.
Yeah, I'll pull out in front of them constantly.
But also, like, that I don't mind because, like, I'm going to be coming to a stop soon as well.
Well, and like, also, it's like, I know that it's like, hey, that person's 8 houses down from me. I can pull out right now, and we'll be perfectly fine.
Right. You're going to have to stop anyway.
If they're going 35, we don't have an issue. But if they're going 60...
Right, but you quickly find out they're not going 35.
Then that person has an issue.
Yes.
So
I will... That one I don't mind, because, like, I'm going to have to stop eventually.
Well, you know where I live, so you know, like...
Right, I know how far the stop sign is. But, like, that I don't care, because I'm going to have to stop.
Right.
If the next stop sign is in 8 miles, and you pull out in front of me and go 40, I will mean mug the hell out of you as I pass you.
Going south to my mom's house just to pull in right there.
that would
literally pull out in front of somebody to turn a quarter mile.
Yes, that would.
And then you're crossing lanes both times you're doing it too. Yep. So they can't go around you.
You are getting horn at minimum.
So I will also when I think this is a common courtesy thing to do, and I think that it's pretty like in our area only, or in an area like ours. If I'm going to turn into a driveway and it's on the left side, I get into the left lane. I'll drive on the left lane for 300 feet.
Right.
And
slow down there because that car behind you wants to get moving.
Yeah. Because where my mom lives, it's going from 35 to 55. So I'll pull over into the left lane. You can see for miles.
Right. I know nobody's coming. Yeah.
And if you got to, you just pretend like you're getting the mailbox and be like, oh, there's mail here.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I think that's common courtesy. Also, I'll put it on my honorable mention, actually. I'll put it on my honorable mention.
Okay. So my number 3 was actually on our people who annoy you?
People we hate.
People we hate.
Ooh. Hate. Hate's a strong word. That's why
no
we
turn
used it.
signals.
See, I didn't want to go just that generic.
Okay. But people who don't use turn signals.
Ever. Yes.
Like even on a 4-lane, click that bad boy, let it click 3 times, click it back off. I always use my turn signal.
Yeah, like, and I don't know if it's a generational
it's like
thing.
A seatbelt thing. Like I feel awkward when I don't have my seatbelt on. I feel awkward.
And you've always been that way, by the way. Like when we were in like teenagers, and
when we were 16,
you're rebellious, and you're like, "Don, I'm not starting this car until you put your seatbelt on." Oh, okay.
Well, I'm not putting my seatbelt on. Get the out.
Right. Like I guess you're not riding with me then.
You can go kill yourself in your own car. Mom said
Deal.
everybody has to wear seatbelts because I get the ticket.
And we listen to Mom.
Once we turned 18, you don't have to wear a seatbelt in my car anymore because I don't get the ticket for you not wearing a seatbelt. Because I think that was the big...
Yeah, I don't know.
I wasn't paying $80 for your fat ass not wearing a seatbelt when I was 16.
You could have just said ass. That would have sufficed.
Well, you see, my blood.
I'm a little angry right now. No, what did you say that I was like, I'm going to comment on?
Seatbelts, turn signals.
It's a generational thing. Like, I think my in-laws were like, you use your turn signal when you're turning into your driveway from the street? Yes. Why wouldn't I? You use your turn signal in the parking lot? Yes.
I usually don't in the park. Sometimes I'll do it accidentally.
How else is the car behind me or in front of me or beside me supposed to know where I'm going unless I don't use my turn signal?
Right. I don't usually... Do I? I'll do it when I'm entering a parking lot, not when I'm leaving, if that makes sense. Like if I'm going into Walmart and they have the vertical rows with
hate yourself.
The vertical rows and then the horizontal
parking spots.
Exits. So like it's a square.
Oh, gotcha.
The rows are vertical, and on either side is a horizontal road leading to the exit. I don't turn signal onto those, but I'll turn signal into the vertical rows. And then I turn signal when I leave the parking lot.
Gotcha. Yeah, but like my in-laws were one like, we don't use our turn signal when we get into our driveway.
Why?
Why wouldn't you? You're turning right. Turn your right turn signal on.
Right. You're crossing 2 lanes of traffic.
Turn your left turn signal on.
You know,
it's not difficult.
Keeps you from getting your ass packed by the 18-wheeler behind you.
Or just Sam Bedwell.
Because these same people who aren't turning on their turn signals come to a complete stop in the middle of the road, and then at 3 miles an hour ease their God, what's an old person car?
Buick.
Well, I know, but I was trying to
Buick. Cadillac. Everybody's grandma had a Cadillac at some point.
pull their LaSaab into the
Oh gosh. Yep.
their Fiero.
I don't know about that one. But I can get on board with turn signals. Actually, it will be in my.
It will come up again.
It will come up again. My number 3. My 3, 2, and 1 are ones that are are unforgivable. My wife and I go on a lot of road trips, and when we're coming home, generally we don't give ourselves enough time to get home. We've driven to Florida, I think 3 times in the last 2 years, or something like that.
I've got something that I'd like to talk about towards the end of this.
Okay, our friends live in. If you are in the left lane and I'm going faster than you, get the out of the way. Get out of the left lane. And I can't impress upon you enough. If there is somebody behind you in the left lane going faster, I don't give a shit how many semis you're passing. Don't care.
If you're passing a train of
get the out of the left lane.
If you're passing a train of 6 semis and if you're going substantially faster than those semis, that's fine. You don't need to speed up to 85 to get past those semis.
Just duck in between one of them. Let me pass you.
No.
Get the out of the left lane, because that's how you get 90 cars in the left lane and 2 miles backed up because grandma's like, well, once I pass this semi, no, get the out of the left lane.
I think that there's some nuance in that.
No.
If it's a 65 mile an hour road, it's a normal 4-lane road. So you're
70 is the normal speed limit, at least in Ohio on the 4-lane.
Okay.
I-75 is 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, but 30 isn't.
Yeah, 30 is.
30 is now. So we'll call it 70. 70 miles an hour. If you're going
anything less than 75, get the out of the left lane.
Usually. You should be going faster than that, yes. But if you're passing, let's say, a group of 5 semis, and they're
going 69.
And they're going 69 miles an hour.
Nice.
And you're going 70, yes, get the out of the left lane. But if you're going 75, 77, and some asshole flies up behind you going 90, no. You can sit there and wait on me.
No.
You piece of
get out of the left lane.
You don't have to get anywhere that fast.
Get out of the left lane.
Wait.
Get out of the left lane. If I have to turn my cruise control off, get out of the left lane.
No. So
get out of the left lane.
When people do that, and they would probably hate this about me. You would hate this about me. If I'm going 77, that is the acceptable speed on the highway as far as I'm concerned. And if you try and come up on my ass when I'm passing somebody, I'm setting my cruise to 1 mile an hour faster than the person beside me. You can sit there and wait while I slowly pass this car. If you're an impatient asshole behind me, now I don't usually do that, but you can tell. You can tell when those people come up behind you.
Yeah.
They're going 95.
I don't know that I've ever came up on and had to stomp on my brakes because somebody got in the left lane or whatever. But when I've ridden behind you for 2 miles, get out of the fucking left lane.
And then
Alabama,
the person behind you swings to the right of you, and then to the left of you, and then to the right of you. No, I'm slowing down. I'm going to let the semis pass me back and get in behind them then.
And I have told my wife before, and this is probably a good idea, that it's a good thing that she's very even keel grounded. I'm like, I need to purchase a handgun just to brandish at people on the interstate. Because if I get out of the left lane,
constitutional carry.
I'm not going to buy bullets for it. But I just want to show it to him out the window. Move your ass. But she thinks that's not a great idea.
I don't think that's a great idea either. Like I wouldn't even say that to the public. Good thing nobody listens to this, so
Right.
it's fine.
No, I want to. Fine, I'll buy bullets if that makes you happy.
Just one.
Just one, because that's all I need. Because you'll get the message from there. Get out of the left lane.
A single desk pop into the ground at the driver's side window. That'll
learn them. They
Jesus.
should know.
Where did this divulge from? My number 2 is slow people in the left lane. We've talked about it enough at this point, and you understand my stance on it.
But if yours makes more sense. Slow people. Mine is just get out. Get out of the left lane. Unless you're
the
going.
left lane is not for cruising either.
No,
it is for passing in.
Right.
Because I hate when I'm going 77, maybe 80, and I have to go left lane, right lane, left lane, right lane.
Oh, I was gonna also
snake trying to get through this traffic.
While I'm in the left lane and somebody comes up behind me faster, if I get over and I have my cruise control set the entire time.
No, don't, because it's probably going to come up what you're talking about.
Okay. All right. So
what's your number 2?
My number 2. And this, I don't know if it's a driver thing as much as it's a society thing. People who don't know or are afraid to use roundabouts. They are becoming more prevalent in our area.
Big thing about roundabouts are confidence.
It's so easy. Is there anything coming from the left? No. Then go.
Right. Are you going right immediately? No. Then go in a lane.
Pick a lane. Stay in that lane unless you're exiting.
If you got to go around that circle more than once, it's fine.
Right. I would prefer you do that rather than get in it, stop, and go, I don't know what to do. Is there anything coming from the left? No. Then go. That's all there is to it. And the amount of people are like,
I do everything in my power to make sure I don't drive through no roundabout.
Well, good. I don't want them in a roundabout.
Well,
go to a stoplight.
There's more accidents. No, there's not, first of all. And then secondly, when their accidents do happen, it's at 20 miles an hour rather than 55 at the four-way light when somebody ran it.
When that same old bitch who doesn't know how to use a roundabout runs a stoplight.
Right.
Because she can't see over the steering wheel.
Roundabouts are fantastic. It sure beats
Eyes
stopping.
Glazed over, cataracts.
I never saw it.
I drive through a roundabout every day on my way home from work. And the light that it replaced, I would sit at times 15 minutes because traffic got backed up at the stoplight. I think I've waited max 35 seconds at the roundabout.
So I will say that the worst thing about roundabouts are people who don't know to use them. There's one.
I just taught you.
Well, I'm aware of how to use them.
But nobody knows how to use them. No. You don't know how to use them.
A lot of them have 2 lanes. One of them is like a right turn lane. One of them is like
right, or you can go straight through. Like you're going straight through the roundabout.
Yeah. Some of them have. Yeah, so it's like you're either turning right here, or
you're making a bend and going
you're
straight.
making a little.
Just the
wiggle.
slightest wiggle, and you're going straight.
People who get in that right lane and do a 3/4 turn, everything up.
Yes.
Because that was the closest I've been to an accident, was this jackoff who was coming straight at me. I go into the roundabout, he goes into the roundabout, but he went in first. So by the time I start the roundabout, he's on my ass in that right lane.
Right.
I'm making a normal right. He's already on my ass in the far right lane. It's like, no, you need to be on the inside lane. Look at the arrows.
It's not hard.
That are 3 feet wide on the ground in front of you.
Well, the roundabout I drive through every day is there's 2 lanes as I enter. The inside lane is either left turn or straight. Mm-hmm. The outside is right turn or straight. I know that the road then becomes 1 lane after the roundabout, so I'm always in the left lane because I want to, you have to get in front of me or behind me. I don't ever want to have to be the one merging. But the amount of people who will start in the right lane and in the roundabout change into the inside lane, like, no, that's not how this works. You can't do that. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. It's actually incredibly easy and efficient, and the amount of people who screw it up are concerning as hell. Pause so I can yell to Doug. Sorry, she was eating the back of my shoe, and Don pointed it out. Your dog's eating your shoe.
Okay, so that is our number 2.
Number 2.
Rune to boots.
Anything coming from the left? No, go. Perfect.
Right.
Great.
First time I went through a roundabout was in a semi. I figured it out. So can you.
Right. Your Honda Civic can figure it out.
Right.
All right.
Hello. Now for a word from our sponsor.
Man, of these sponsor messages, I don't know that it gets better than that.
No, I love abortion pills.
Okay.
We don't know if that's what just played or not. It played for somebody.
Chances are.
I've gotten that one before.
I have as well.
But it's different for everybody. So if you're getting something,
But at the same time,
maybe
like-
check your Google search history.
Right.
Delete them cookies, bruh.
Also, like, whoever the company was, like, you just wasted your money because I'm not buying. I'm never in a million years am I going to buy an abortion pill. So,
No, that's
congrats to you. So, you want to do honorable mentions before we tell everybody what really pisses us off about drivers, as if we haven't already?
trying to think if I'd buy an abortion pill. No, that's up to them, right?
Yeah, that's not. You don't get to decide.
Yeah, honorable mentions, right?
Yep.
All right, honkers.
Nice. Nice.
People whom honk. And I don't get honked at a lot, but when I do, I don't deserve it.
Generally, I'm like, what did I do? Like,
And I don't think I am getting honked at a lot, but whenever I hear, if I'm sitting at a red light and I hear someone honk behind me,
Naturally.
I assume
Right.
it's like, I don't know if it's just because I've got bad anxiety.
Right. Like, no, I'm sitting here going, no, the same thing. If I'm stopped and I hear a honk, I'm like, what did I do? It probably it probably wasn't me that you're mad at, but I instantly am like, I didn't do anything.
But every once in a while, it's like I'll be sitting there, and I usually don't honk at somebody who's on their phone texting at red light. Red light's the time to do that. But if it's like 3 seconds, I'll let out a real quick.
Right. Like, hey,
But
let's go.
If the light just turned green and I'm already turning and I hear a honk behind me, there's nothing that gets...
You want to stomp on the brakes hard.
Yeah.
Hard.
That gets the blood boiling.
Yeah, that's fair. 100%.
I forget that I have a horn. Like if somebody starts merging into my lane on a highway, I'm like, hey. I wish I had a way for you to hear me.
Please stop. Please don't. Please don't is what I say a lot. Please don't. Please don't. Oh, I do have a means of communication with you.
So they've already
like,
corrected.
Oh, fucking dick. Like, you're the one who just about ran me off the road.
Yeah. It's like you just... Or I'll forget it until they get back in their lane. Then I'll get a little honk.
Like, bro, I'm already...
Then you got to brake, make sure that they see you and be like, man, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah, that makes sense. That it? Forget how to read.
People who stare. Mostly like your stupid f***ing kids in the back seat while I drive past you.
I don't know that's a driver thing. I think that's a kid thing.
Anybody, like even if it's a person that stares, like if I look over
and you make eye contact with anybody,
and that person's already looking at me, and then I just stare at them as I pass them, and they're still staring at me, and I'm the first one to break eye contact. Like I'm the second one to get eye contact,
right,
and the first one to break it. It's like, you haven't looked in the road in a while there, buddy.
I'm not sure what you're at, but I will mean mug people that I pass in the, like, if I'm in the right lane and I pass you because you're in the left lane driving slow, I will stare you down. Just make horribly awkward eye contact because get out of the left lane. So I'm a starer at times.
You're a starer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my honorable mentions.
So I've got two. people who drive in the middle of the road on back roads.
Okay. Yeah.
I would probably like to be driving faster than you, and also I can't see around you because, and then suddenly you swerve and like, oh hey, now I understand that there's a deer there. Great, perfect, thank you. If only you were driving in the right lane, and I also could have seen the deer.
Indeed.
Don't like those people. And then
usually, if I ever drive in the middle of the road, and it's not very often, it's like narrow Indiana roads.
Yeah, like
which is
that
only
I
like,
get.
which is only like a car and a half,
Right.
Anyway,
Right.
But you never do it when somebody's near you.
Yeah. My second one, we talked about common courtesy. If I am sitting at a stoplight or stop sign, if I'm sitting at a stop sign and you can see me and you are turning in either direction, put your turn signal on as early as possible.
Yeah, because if you're turning right and I'm turning right, we can hit the stop sign at the same time.
We don't have to ever see each other even. If you can see
me,
me,
you're going straight and I'm going right, we can do this thing at the exact same time. I promise.
Nope. They stomp on the brakes and then go, oh wait, nope, I'm turning right. Like, oh, I could if I sat here for a minute because I thought, nope, I'll wait.
Oh, you're talking a two-way stop.
Well, yeah, or like on a highway.
Gotcha.
And you're on a side road, and I pull up to the stop sign, and you're turning right to go onto my side road.
Tell you what else I don't like.
Flip your fucking turn signal on and let me go too, bro.
This is like in-town driving. I don't like people who pull out. It's in a bigger town.
Mm-hmm.
They pull out and drive like a quarter mile in the left turn only lane to then merge.
Oh, to get on the 2-lane road.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope, that's not how this works.
Chill.
Right. Be patient.
Simmer down.
I'm in agreement with you there. That also, like, because they're pulling out like beside you, and you're like, bro. And they're like, well, I'm just getting in the center lane so I can eventually get. No, that's not what that's for.
And that is probably the thing that I am most guilty of myself, is doing that.
Oh, I don't know.
But I don't like other people doing
Nope.
it.
Don't.
Because I know what I'm doing. I don't know what they're doing.
I know that I'm not a moron. You, on the other hand, could be anything, including a moron. So, yeah, number one.
Nope.
I didn't figure. Eminem. Yeah. We both have the same number one.
My number one is people whom speed up and slow down.
Yeah.
Set your fucking cruise control at 65.
Preach it, brother.
70.
Whatever
75.
you want your cruise control at.
114 if your governor shuts it off at 115, set that cruise at 114 for all I care. But I hate, and I think you were going to start talking about
absolutely
this.
Was.
If I'm driving in the left lane and I pass you going 77 and a 70, and then 2 miles later I'm still going 77 and a 70, and I see this blue Stratus pulling up beside me,
Oddly specific,
and just edging, going 78 and a 77, and you pass me, and then you pull over in front of me, and you continue to go 78 for 10 more miles. But then after 10 miles, I see the back end of this blue Stratus with its bumper hanging half on, and its Garfield suction cup to the back windshield.
it's really specific.
My son is an honor roll student at
Tom Landry Middle School. See, that's my
and then I have to get into the left lane, still going 77 miles an hour,
still at the same speed I was the entire time.
And I look over and stare at you, and you've got this Marlboro Light 120 hanging out your mouth, 3 inches of ash on the end of it, playing on your phone, playing Pokemon's Go.
It's so specific, though.
Kids in the back crying.
When his dad coming back from the gas station. He's never coming back with a milk.
Windows rolled up, hot boxing. And I pass you going 77 miles an hour, and I get back into the right lane. 5 miles later, going 78 miles an hour.
Still at the same speed. Yeah, no, if I'm in the left lane and I get off to the right so you can pass me, and then I ever pass you again in the left lane, you're an idiot.
I want to pit you. I want to swipe over and hit the back end of your car. Send Garfield for a ride.
Why is it so specific?
I don't know.
I could not be in more agreement with you. Because it's so, like, is there a bigger exhibit of your just complete lack of understanding of the way life works than that?
And if you have a car from the last 10 years, they have like an automatic cruise control. You can set that bad boy at 65, and if you get too close to somebody,
my car doesn't.
you
I wish it
down.
had that. Like the car I drive for work does, and I think it's great. It's fantastic. I set it at the speed I want, and then how far I want to be away from a car in front of me.
It's nice.
Man, technology, man. Who'd have thought?
And then all of a sudden you forget that you have it set at 75, and the dude going 65 in front of you pulls off.
You forget.
And that acceleration hits.
like,
whoa.
You got it set at 78, and you don't even realize you're going 64. He gets on the exit, and you're like, whoa. Yeah, I've been there. Like, is the gas pedal stuck or something? No, it's just you've been not driving nearly as fast as you thought you were. Yeah, that's true.
So that's my number one.
My number one is people who drive slow on the on-ramp.
Oh, you need to be going up to speed by the time you get to the bottom of that on-ramp.
Yes.
You need to be going 60.
The whole point of the on-ramp is for you to get up to whatever the speed limit is on the road we're about to be driving on. If you can't make the incredibly wide-ass turn that we're making at 40 miles an hour, you shouldn't be driving.
It's posted 40. Go 40.
They're like, I need you. I don't know that you'll make this turn unless you're going.
This might as well be a minimum of 40. This isn't a maximum.
And this is also...
There's some nasty ones out there.
Oh, 100%. Like in Fort Wayne, when you're getting off
I was
of
thinking
30,
Indianapolis.
and you're getting off of 930, like you're getting off Coliseum Boulevard and getting onto 30. There's like it says 25.
Yeah.
And they mean 15. Like it says 25. What they mean is 20. Because 25,
they just did.
You're rolling.
Nobody had a sign with a 1 in front of it to put there.
They're like, screw it. They'll figure it out. Some of them mean 25.
Some of them mean 50.
Right. Some of them say 40 and they mean 75. At minimum, we need to be at 60 miles an hour when we start to straighten this bitch out.
The one in St. Mary's, you're on a 2-mile loop.
That is the one I drive in every day. And once a week, I'm going 40 on that ramp going, you got to get a move on, brother. You better get rolling because
I don't think we're going to make it.
We're not going to make it because you're going 45.
You're crashing Dr. Emmett Brown straight into Twin Pines Mall if you don't get your ass going.
100%. You need to be moving. And instead, everybody's like, well, let me take this turn here.
There's a semi half a mile behind me. Better slow down and let him get past.
Right. Nope. You need to be about 70.
You need to speed up and get in front of him is what you need to do.
Once a week I have
because
to,
both of us are squeezing in front of that semi. And I'm immediately getting into the left lane to get as far away from your dumb ass as possible.
100, yes, because otherwise I have to come to a complete stop at the end of the on-ramp so I don't become a bug in that semi's windshield.
And do you know what this guy behind me is going? 80, because he knows how to do an on-ramp.
Because he's not an idiot. Oh, my God. Once a week, I am screaming at the top of my lungs, like, go! Go!
That's
we're not going.
Part of the reason that I want a Tesla, because they have the customizable horns.
Oh,
so
gosh.
You just go. Go.
Oh, my gosh. At minimum, once a week. There I sit, going, need to get a move on. Gotta go. And we're going 45 miles an hour. It's like, oh my God.
Is there anything better than you're on a road trip, call it a 4 or 5 hour drive, and you pass a car, at the beginning of your trip, whatever. Half an hour into your trip, you pass a car. 3 hours later, you stop, take a piss, get something to eat.
Get a McDouble.
Get a McDouble. Get back in your car. On the on-ramp. 20 minutes later, you pass that same car, like that same blue truck with
that same blue Garfield.
You pass that F-150 with the bumper sticker that says "Go fast, eat ass." You pass that same truck that you passed 3 hours ago.
And you remember I know that we passed that guy back in Sydney because I saw his bumper sticker that said "Go fast, eat ass," and I thought, if I wasn't driving right now, I would pull my phone out and pull up Amazon and be like, bumper sticker, "Go fast, eat ass." Yeah, I do. The only thing better than that is when you are passing like a semi that's going 70 and you're going 78 and a car comes up beside, like passes you at 84 and gives you the look like, they're not going to pull over both of us. Would you like to join me?
So you slide on behind them.
So you get in the left lane, and yet we turn the turn the cruise control to 84 as well. And then you see how many you can get with you, because you're like, and I like to think that they know that we're together, but you pass like 130 cars in a couple of hours.
All of a sudden, you got like 5 cars in your cargo train.
Everywhere, every move you make, they're making it with you. And then somebody gets off the exit.
I was going to say, the worst part is that lead car gets off, and I'm like, I'm slowing back down to 75.
Right. Yep. And you do
one of the guys behind you comes flying by. He's like, we're still going.
Here we go. But that original car gets off the exit to get gas, and you're pulling the Woody in Toy Story 4. So long, partner. Yep. That is peak road tripping right there. Is when it's always like a blue Honda that's been just hatchet jobbed, and they're like, I'm going 84. You coming with me? Yes. I am. They're not. They can't pull over both of us until they can.
I've seen like 7 cars pulled over on the side of the road before.
You all were going 92. Like, I didn't think you were going to pull over both of us.
Just 2 cops, one in front, one in back. 7 cars pulled over.
Well, it's the old. What movie is that?
Las Vegas Vacation, National Lampoons. Put $1 in, won a car. Put $1 in, won a car.
No, I was going with.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with what you're talking about.
We've got to outrun the bear. I don't have to outrun the bear. I just got to outrun you.
Yeah,
that's the thought process. I don't have to outrun the cops. I just got to outrun you.
Okay, so I said earlier that I wanted to talk about something.
Okay,
this might be like the new format of the post show. Who knows?
Yeah,
we're done with the list. We're just chit chatting now.
You got what you wanted from us.
Leave or stay.
We prefer you stay, but.
How many? You said earlier that you claim to be a perfect driver.
Oh, yeah. It's because I am.
How many single car accidents have you been in?
Legally? None.
How many times have you put your vehicle into a ditch?
That's a different story. Those are not accidents.
How many single car oopsie-daisies have you been in?
I mean, I've had to have my car pull out of the ditch, I think, 3 times.
What about when you were road tripping in the Dakotas? Did Ashley crash that car?
That was Ashley that crashed my car.
Producer Ashley.
Yeah. You should take cruise control off. I don't know how. Stomps on the brakes in an ice storm. We're spinning around in the middle of I-80. And me, calm, cool, and collected, said, don't hit the brakes. Put it in neutral. Steer into the skid. This is all verifiable. She will tell you. Garrett said.
You also shouldn't put it in neutral.
You absolutely should put it in neutral.
No.
Yes.
I don't think so.
I think you're wrong.
I don't think so.
Put it in neutral. Don't hit the brake. Steer into the skid. So she stomped on the brakes and turned the car to the right. Just as hard as you could. Hard to port Pirates of the Caribbean style. She stomps on the brakes. So we're spinning around in the middle of I-80 and the Dodge Dakota behind us, believe it or not, couldn't get stopped.
Oof.
So, you put it in neutral. It stops the wheels. The wheel stop rotating at that point.
I think that they just rotate freely in either direction at that point.
No, you put it in neutral.
When the strongmen push trucks, they don't put it in drive because the wheels turn too easy. They put it in neutral so that they can pull them easier.
Right, because they're not just spinning wildly.
Right, they're spinning in their own free will.
They're spinning in the direction you want them to spin in.
No, they're spinning in the direction that gravity's taking them.
No.
Centrifugal force.
No. You want to put your car in neutral. I promise you want to put your car in neutral.
Okay. I don't think you do.
All right. How many? Where's the weirdest place you've ever woken up, Don?
That's not what we're talking I mean, still, even the weirdest place I've ever woken up is like 2 hours away from where I passed out. Like,
We've all been there.
Woke up in a motorcycle club 2.5 hours away from where I was the night before. And at 11 a.m. with 95-degree heat with the windows rolled up in the back seat of the Chevy Cavalier. That's where I woke up. I passed out on a front porch swing.
I have put my car in the ditch. There was one time I blew a tire. Okay, like I don't feel like that.
You're on your way to the Cole's house to go to the Kendall's hockey game.
Yeah, and my tire blew. Like that's not. I don't think that's really my fault. Now that I take that turn at 58 miles an hour, that left turn at 58 miles an hour, yes, I did.
Those steep ass ditches and your tire fell off. Who could blame you?
My tire blew.
I know some additional information about why all that allegedly happened that I don't know if we want to talk about.
I don't care if you do or not. I don't.
Found one of those special cigarettes.
Hey, being 16 is tough, okay?
Being 16 was so easy.
In retrospect.
Yeah. Now I have my own money and nothing fun to spend it on.
I saw a great tweet the other day that said, when I was a kid, like I was pissed that my bedtime was 9 o'clock and I couldn't wait till I'd be an adult and figure out what time I was ready to go to bed. And it turns out it's about 9 o'clock. Which you don't relate to yet, night owl.
No. I've been going to bed before 11 recently.
Wow.
So I'm getting into that point in my life where that bed feels real nice.
How many times you been in the ditch?
Once.
Is that true?
Yeah. One time. Now, one time, the very first time I got a flat tire on my car, I got
now magically flat tires are okay.
Well, it was so I caught it when it started thumping, like right when it started going flat.
That's a problem.
I had my 1994 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme.
It was a nice car. I enjoyed that car. It wasn't nice, but it was a good car.
Well, I had it like pimped out. I had the TV in the back and the Xbox. Yep. But
those seats leather, like red leather seats.
Leather.
Oh, doesn't get classier than that.
Maroon?
Is that like it wasn't red, but it wasn't maroon.
It was like a purple red.
Yeah.
Probably maroon.
Burgundy,
probably. That one had a dent in the passenger rear door. Like that was one of those cars you don't want to see on the highway, you know what I mean?
Yeah. People don't take care of their crap.
That happened like a month after I got my license. Went to my sister's house. Her husband backed out, didn't even see my car. Just
bam.
Back door still worked. But flat tire started rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. Yep. And I was like, oh, crap. Oh, this is a flat tire. This is what I've been training for. Get out, check it. Front right tire going flat. It's like, perfect. Go back. It's like this.
I've been practicing.
I was like, I caught it. I didn't like get a flat tire and flip into the ditch or hit a telephone pole. Now, what do you think happened?
I imagine you were like, I know where everything is in my car to change this tire, but I can't get the jack up because this is a 1994 Oldsmobile who wasn't really built to actually be able to jack up this car. Just supposed to look
2005.
right, in 2006. Yeah.
What actually happened is when I got out, I left it in drive. So when I shut the door locked. But the idle speed was so low that it didn't move at all. So when I shut the door, the automatic door locks locked the door. Thankfully, I'd taken my cell phone with me. So I called my brother and my brother-in-law, and they came out. And we had to pry like the passenger door open and try and get... We were trying everything. Like it was like November, so corn was off. So we had like frozen corn stalks trying to shove it down in there. I think my brother ended up going back to his house. He just replaced like a ceiling fan. So he had like the ceiling fan fins. Taped like two of those together and shoved it down and got it unlocked. After we did that at 11 o'clock at night, wherever I was going, that pussy was staying where it was. And I was going back home. And I had to change a tire at 11 o'clock at night on the side of 33 in Harner Road.
That's exactly where I was envisioning you. That is exactly where I was envisioning you on the side.
You mean the worst possible place to get a flat tire?
And have your car roll down. Yeah, that was pretty.
Where there's just hills in front of you and
Yeah,
a curve behind you.
You're asking to just get hit.
I think that.
So that's the second time
your
your car was in the ditch. I guess the first time your car was in the ditch, and then the other time was your truck was in the ditch on Rockford West that time.
Yeah, when it was all snowed
It
out.
was February, I think.
Yeah, there's ice on the road, snow, other factors.
Contributing factors to why the car is in the ditch. Oh, God. You called me. What are you doing? I was sitting in the ditch. What? Yeah, I put my car in the ditch. Oh, do you need help? Because I can't. I'm not going to be able to help you. No. Our friend's dad is coming. Okay.
And that's where that story can end.
Oh, God. I could tell you the day, probably. February 12th, I think.
Probably not far off.
It's Saturday, February 12th, I believe. It's 2021.
2000.
February 13th.
Wow. Saturday the 13th.
Saturday the 13th.
2021?
2021.
Yeah, I think that's probably right.
I'm telling you it's right.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking it could have been 2020, but it couldn't have.
No.
It was post-COVID.
Yep.
Any other driving stuff that pops into your head?
No.
It's the fastest you've ever driven as a driver.
I'm certain, the only time I've ever tried it was in my first car, not my. So I guess I should
Tranny vanny?
I should point out my first car was a 1994 Plymouth Grand Voyager minivan, because that was the hand-me-down that my mom had. She bought a new van. What? my mom had it. She bought a new van. So my sister's first car was a 1994 Plymouth Grand Voyager.
Yep.
Then she got a new car when she moved to college. So my first car was a 1994 Plymouth Grand Voyager in 2006.
And it was a beaut.
It was a beaut. But then after a while, I beat that to hell.
And peanut shells crushed into the carpet in the back.
Steve Hinkle. My dad, I got a 1996 Dodge Intrepid, and it would shut off at 106.
You almost put that into the ditch when I was riding shotgun with you.
I don't think I ever had that bad boy in the ditch.
Well,
my brother is listening to this, like, yeah, remember that time? No,
so
I don't.
you and I were driving from Salina back to your place, and you were texting, as you are wont to do.
Naturally, yeah.
And we started...
a lot easier now that T9 Word doesn't exist, by the way.
Yeah. We started veering, now that swipe is a thing. We started veering off to the right side of the road, and I, ever so cautiously and thoughtfully as a friend... Gently nudged us back into the proper position, as any shotgun driver should do. If the driver's going to be distracted for a short amount of time, you say, "Hey,
autopilot,
take the wheel." Autopilot. You let go of the wheel. You let them do a little bit of driving for you.
On our road trip a few weeks ago, I dropped my phone and I said to Ashley, who was in the passenger seat,
"Autopilot engage."
Autopilot. And I tried to grab my phone, and she was like, "What?" And because we're going 90 miles an hour, and she's like, "I don't feel comfortable doing this." And I was like, "Don would have been great at that."
We used to practice it. Take the wheel.
True. Autopilot. What? you would already have your hands off, like autopilot. Okay. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt yourself.
Ever so graciously and gently.
That's not an exaggeration. You
nudged us back into the proper lane, and Garrett wrenched his hand forward and ripped the steering wheel to the right, halfway into the ditch, going 65 miles an hour down the road.
It's not
before he looked up to find that. Well, now we're in the ditch.
In my defense, I know because I also played football and had concussions. Sometimes you just get into the darkness where you think, could I kill everyone in this car right now? Yes. Did I think that that's what you were doing? Like, oh, here comes a semi. I guess we're both dying. Yes. So I thought, what are you doing, Don? Jerk the wheel to the right. Oh, God, we're in the ditch. Yeah, that was not great. But
135.
In what?
My sister's college boyfriend's car.
Okay.
I don't remember what kind of car it was. Maybe a Hyundai something or other. I can't remember.
There's no way a Hyundai's going.
But 135. It was a silver sports-ish car.
Is that the dude who had to take her to Upper Sandusky, I think, and because he was from like Canton or something like that?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep. So he left his car at the house.
Keys in it. Dumbass.
Yeah. Hey, you can drive this if you want. 'Cause I think I was a senior in high school, and I had a girlfriend. He's like, "You can take. It's a nice car. You can take that over to her place." And I was like, "Bet, 135 miles an hour."
Yeah, my Dodge Intrepid would shut off at 106.
I think I've ridden like 140 something before, or more.
I don't.
There's
I've ridden like 110 over the railroad tracks in Glenmore.
Well, if you rode with me when I was 18 in my Oldsmobile, that shut off at 114. But if you let off the gas at the right moment and then hammered it,
again.
You could get it up to
Like 120.
Get it up to 119 and it shut off for real at 120. Like 114 was like a suggestion, but you could get it shut off for real at 120.
I remember riding with you one time in the Cutlass,
Which was a tank.
Oh, they don't make cars like that anymore.
No.
That's an old man saying, but I don't care. That thing was made of like stainless steel.
Oh yeah, I just thought of some more driving stuff.
I remember driving. I'm not certain of where we were. I think we were on 49 between Wren and Wilshire.
Okay.
And you wanted to see how many reflectors in the center of the road you could hit.
I hit every reflector from Salina to Wilshire one time.
And I remember being in the car, and there's a car coming in the opposite lane, and you're like, "I'm at 48. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, other car, but we got the 48 here, okay?" Like, because he would just be like, 1, 2, 3. He just kept counting and counting.
This guy's gonna have to get over.
Like, you're gonna have to get over. I'm at 48.
He would understand.
If he could communicate with us, he wouldn't be like, "There's some drunk dude on 49 back there." Like, no, sir. What happened was, I had a streak going, and I wasn't breaking it for you.
Right, it was 119. You wouldn't believe it. I transitioned roads and hit every single one of them.
God, kept the streak alive.
I turned left off a 118 onto Purdy and kept the streak going.
Dunk,
So
dunk, dunk, dunk.
you remember? It wasn't that stupid. It was like thinking back on it, but it wasn't that dangerous. But it was very. To see it, you would think we were psychotics, and to hear about it, you might. Remember when we played bumper tag?
Yeah.
Like our junior year of high school? Because our senior year, everybody started to get a little bit nicer cars, and we couldn't play.
Right. You had upgraded to like a Pontiac Grand Prix. And you're like, no, we're not putting dents in
These
this
bumpers are made of.
thing. Right. These are fiberglass. we're not bumping these.
So we would leave the school, and most of the time after school, on a football game, we would go to one buddy's parents' house. So there'd be, 3:30 p.m. on a Friday. And there's 20 dudes in this.
There's 15 cars in front of this house.
Yeah. Well, there's a series of stop signs when you're between these two places, anywhere from 6 to 10 stop signs, depending on the route that you decide to take.
It's probably 4 to 6 stop signs.
And a stoplight.
Yeah.
But what we would do is we would decide somebody was it and haul ass out of the school parking lot
And you're it.
and get to this person's house. The only way that you could not be it was to rear end someone else's car. And I won't forget my buddy.
Psychotic is a good word for it. Yeah, that's.
I was it, reversed into my buddy's truck, bumped into his truck at a stop sign.
And it takes way more nuance than it sounds.
Right.
Like you're not trying to
You're not trying to damage.
Right. You're not trying to have their parents call your parents.
Right.
But you also don't want to be it.
So,
Mom, you don't understand. I was it. It's not a great defense.
so here's what happened. Sitting at the 4-way stop, my buddy comes up behind me in his S10. I'm in my Oldsmobile, sitting at the 4-way stop, thinking everything's fine and dandy. He comes up and bumps me and then just starts driving me into the middle of the intersection. I've got my car in reverse. I've got my car in reverse.
At a U.S. highway.
Right. Spinning my tires in reverse. He's spinning his tires in forwards, pushing me into the intersection while semis and cars are turning. Teachers are leaving, trying to get home to their families. So I take off.
Meanwhile, the around gang is in the middle of the 4-way stop.
Wearing our football jerseys.
I bet those guys are really mentally focused
So
to play the best football conference in Ohio.
So at this point, I'm it. And I pull off because I'm in the middle of the intersection. I might as well turn. And he follows me. So at the next stop sign, I slam my car into reverse, bump into him. He's it. And I take off. We're going through town at this point.
You're going to his house.
Residential area. 35. In a 25, we're going 35, 40, 45.
Are you an auctioneer?
Get to a stop sign that his house is 2 houses down from, and it's a T stop sign. I'm like,
the road
he lives
the road dead ends there, and then the road you're turning on dead ends 100 yards down the road.
So I get this stop sign. I'm like, hey, I'm safe. I'm the first one here. I am good. I look in my rearview mirror, and flying up behind me is this S10, and he is not stopping. And he hit the ass of my car so hard. He was probably going 25 miles an hour. He had to have been when he hit the back of my car. That shot me forward from this stop sign into the
I got a neck injury.
into the driveway across from the stop sign, and he just cranks his wheels and drives down, parks his car. I back up, drive down to the house. Mind you, this is a 12-year-old car at this point. The ass end of this car is just leaking rust and broken pieces of plastic all the way down the road from the stop sign to his parents' house.
Oh my gosh!
And that wasn't the end of tag, but that probably
should have been.
That was
a great idea.
That was the most aggressive game of tag I think that was played. And the weirdest thing is, no airbags were ever deployed in this game of tag.
Because you're driving 14-year-old cars. Right. Are there actually airbags in there? I don't know.
Yeah. When I totaled my Oldsmobile, they were airbags.
Well, you didn't total your Oldsmobile.
I was driving it when it was totaled.
Yes. Somebody else.
There was zero fault in the accident.
Which is bullcrap. I mean, it's your fault. No, it was foggy, right?
It was super foggy. Like, you couldn't see 40 feet in front of your car.
You couldn't see at least one Cutlass Supreme in front of you.
You couldn't see a Cutlass Supreme on the highways you pull out.
Going about 62 miles an hour.
No, not in the fog. Don't be ridiculous.
It's going 80. I'm going to make contact with somebody. It's going to hurt.
But we were on our way to track practice. Like, it was bad enough to where I obviously didn't make it to track practice, but apparently at track practice, the people throwing discs had trouble finding their discs after they threw them. Oh. So it was thick from
thick enough
100 feet where you couldn't find the thing that you just threw 3 seconds ago.
All right.
And the rough 10-foot area where it is.
You know where it went. You know what grassy area it just landed in.
Oh, so that was actually after I graduated, but was still in the sports ball. We hadn't walked for graduation, but we graduated early that year.
Yeah, it was real early.
Because we went to those makeup days.
Well, they were like, all right, here's your options. And
it was like teacher in-service days. So instead of staying at home doing nothing, we would go in and pick up rocks out of the football,
right?
Like the practice.
But
field.
they were like, you can graduate on June 2nd.
Your last day of classes will be this day or this day.
Can we do May 17th? You're like, well, I guess technically, yeah. Well, let's go ahead and do that then.
Technically, you only need to hit this many days of school. So if you come in on days off, then yes, your class can be done early. Yeah, we're going to do that.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and do that then. Yep.
So yeah, if you like this format, maybe it's something that we can do in the future. It's kind of a reaction show, but
a little bit
right after it. And then it was just
one thing you got to listen to.
Yeah.
Rather than
And it was kind of
fiddle with your phone while you're driving.
If you don't like
us, maybe text and drive, I don't know. Practice makes perfect.
Stay off my list.
Yeah, I think that's just what everybody's goal should be, is don't end up on my list and get out of the left lane.
Have common sense when you're driving.
Get out of the left lane.
Don't play car tag. It's
also true. Please don't play bumper cars. Bumper tag in a 1989 S10 and a 90.
What would that be the equivalent of now? Like
vehicular homicide.
2004 Chrysler Sebring.
Don't do that to me. Roughly, yeah. 2003 Pontiac G6.
Oh shit, those things are so nice.
I know. Kids these days don't know how good they got it.
Hey, you can find me on Twitter at Donnie_G.
I'm at Garrett Seawright. You can find the podcast at Rankum Podcast, at The Rankum Podcast, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Like, subscribe, share, give us a 5-star review. Tell your friends about us, however you can help. We certainly appreciate it.
We're back.
We'll catch you next time.
Again.
Right here.
For more.
On the Rankum Podcast.
Bye.